Ladies and gentlemen, after a 13-9 in affair on Inferno, we have made it to map number 2 of Mirage between Club 333 and Overtake Sector. However, Floofies, we do have some housekeeping items, and the first of which is going to be to thank one of our sponsors for Crossfire Season 5, and that is going to be SCL, where you can run 24/7 practice servers, review matches in 2D, which is a feature that I really like because you can overlay multiple of a team's games on top of each other and kind of pick up some tendencies, but you can also build some real strategy into your gameplay with it. And whether you're grinding alone or trying to build some of that structure into your team, SCL has all of the tools you need to elevate your game, so make sure you check out scl.gg. But Floofies, for the here and now, between Club 333 and Overtake Sector, it looked kind of convincing on the side of Club 333, but we talked about some questions being raised going into Mirage, especially with Marky on the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, Marky not only looked sharp, he looked hot, and he looked like he was ready to roll. And going into Mirage, he's going to be a major sticking point if Overtake want to keep this one heading to a map number 3. Now, both of these teams are going to be plenty familiar with Mirage. And I mean, you mentioned SCL. The great part about it is it does have replays from everything. You've got your ESCA replays, you've got your Crossfire replays, you've got your nostalgia replays, stuff that's going to be more annoying to find. It's all there. And so clearly, I think we got to see some great preparation from the side of clubs. Now we'll get to see if Overtake can throw it back.
Yeah, and I think that Mirage is one of the maps that Overtake really thrives on, whether it's because they have such a high firepower potential, or even because they have a level of chemistry with them, because we talked about it, how 4 out of 5 of these players have all played together on a roster, whether it was Party Astronauts, Fluffy Aimers, One Win at some point in time. So I think that that will definitely work into their own favor. It's just a matter of whether or not Club 333 can really counteract that, show the resilience that they did on Inferno, and whether or not they can really lock down this mid fight, because I feel like mid is going to be a heavy point of contention for either Overtake or Club 333 on the T side, and I feel like that is really what's going to make or break this map.
I think the other thing is I'm waiting for Umar to heat up. I'm waiting for Umar to start to feast, because it seemed like he was in a bit of a famine there on Inferno. And given we highlighted him as one of the major victory conditions for the Overtake sector, I mean, Inferno isn't the most op-friendly map you're going to find. So to have a rougher side of things, it's understandable. But if you don't find your footing on Mirage, then it's troubles.
Yeah, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a counter argument. I almost think that there's an opportunity for Umar to really find some sort of opening, whether it's through CT, whether it's going for aggressive peaks with that AWP into upper B. But we'll have to wait until the next half, because Overtake find themselves on the T side. But as I mentioned, this is a map that Overtake have been very proficient on in recent memory, specifically in Crossfire. They had some spectacular results. They were able to 2-0 regain, and I'm pretty sure this map was featured in that matchup. But they also found a 13-5 victory against the Stormboar, and also a 13-11 victory against Wanted Goons. But I definitely think that those are two teams that are on two different calibers, but this A-site hit definitely on the same caliber as all the other ones, especially when Mason finds 3, makes it 4,
Mason?
And now it's only Learsey, and Mason's going swinging. It's the pistol round ace from Mason, and Club 333 find themselves with a pistol round win.
Well, that's 3 out of 3 pistol rounds won by Club 333, and that has to feel like a major adrenaline shot for Mason, who's coming into this, as I mentioned, as a sub for Club 333. So now he gets to go, I'll carry you. No worries, guys. We're sitting in spawn shell-shocked about what just happened. I don't even know what else to say. That was huge. Overtake just walked out to their doom.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like that's kind of that brash style of Counter-Strike that I was talking about in the pre-show, is trying to find the fights and really take the mistakes and force them into the hands of Overtake. And speaking of mistakes, it's going to be a double peek into Connector. The first frag does go Morrow's way. Umar able to recover and rebound, but Mason hot on his hip. Is it able to convert? Doing the 2v4. All Learcy and Sacrifice have are Desert Eagle and a P250 respectively, but the UMP is going to chop away at both. It's Cobra to find a 2K, one of those being flying, and Club 333 find a second.
2015 UMP is back, boys. It's like an AK for $1,200 against armorless players that are close up. But no, I say that. I love the UMP. I use it myself. I just don't get to see it very often at this high level of play, so makes me feel happy to see.
Yeah, I think that the UMP goes hand in hand with a weapon like the MP5 SD. I feel like that's a weapon that's a little bit undervalued.
It definitely is. I think it can have a major impact on the T side, where you don't have access to those silenced weapons usually. But, oh, up close and personal. Third round, not going to be expected. And Sacrifice just gets set down. Maro coming in with the UMP to continue collecting $600 a frag, and Overtake are just getting chewed apart. You see, making a lot of noise in connector, but Mason ready for him. Not the second, though, as Jason will trade it. With 50 HP and 3 players left on the Club's side, he will get picked apart. And Clubs 3-3-3 with round number 3.
I really liked the proactivity from Cobra in that round, with the AWP going for that peek into upper B, and then you saw an immediate mid-round shift from Overtake to try and take the positioning of Connector and try to reroute back into the A-bomb site. But by the time they were able to find their footing, it felt like Cobra had just ran a marathon back over to Ticket and was able to kind of put Overtake into a rough spot in terms of, do they actually commit to their indecision, or do they continue with that exact thing, that indecision that really had them stuck towards bottom connector. But round number 4 hopefully is a different story. Marquee not going to allow them to find any sort of start. Lex Umar, so with a man disadvantage, Overtake have to try and compensate somewhere. It feels like they have to take a fight, whether that be into connector or into catwalk. And you can see Intra prodding towards cat, but not going to find much of an effect, as the only person home is Secret Agent, but he's all backed up all the way to Van.
I think the one thing that is nice here for Overtake is there's still an SMG left for Clubs, and they'll neatly avoid it. So at the very least, even if they do lose this one, it won't be as financially ruining, but already Mason is locking down that A-bomb site with 0 options for Overtake. Challenge from Cat. He's going to find Maro. But again, Mason from under Balk is just ripping Overtake a new one every which way. Sacrifice, though, getting up close and personal, going to stomp Markey. And the rotation back in from CT over on that AWP. The first shot misses, as does the second, and he won't get a third chance. Sacrifice with the headshot through the box. Use that SMG in the 1 versus 2. 20 seconds, though. Bomb numbers about to be punched in. Oh, massive shots onto Sacrifice. Can Jason turn this one around with 15 seconds remaining? A big peek, and it does work out. Overtake will secure their first round on this T side, but man, was it close.
Yeah, that MP9 from Secret Agent, having that fast rotation towards A, I think was the key for Club 333 to have a chance in that round, but now we see the AWP back into Umar's hands, and I'm almost curious as to whether or not Overtake are going to start picking up on the fact that Club 333 are making these hasty rotations, whether it's with the AWP or even just some of the supporting pieces back towards the B bomb site. And based on their setup here and now, I feel like that's kind of the read, is that they're going to send Intra back into Palace to try and find a fight, maybe even listen for rotations, and then try to pivot back into the A bomb site if that information is gathered. But if not, then they're going to be stuck charging into a wall, but that is the B bomb site and Secret Agent's M4A4.
Well, it's not an op, but I mean, if they do go charging into it, maybe we get a nice cold Zera play. Doesn't look like it'll be the case this round. As Overtake look to take mid control away from Club 333. Like the util falling into positions will give enough time to gobble up a bit more of this space up Cat, but if they don't move, the smokes are going to fade, and then things will turn awkward. Already, Mason, he hasn't gotten enough kills on the past couple of rounds, clearly. What's one more?
And look at Mason, he's continuing this charge back into Palace, so if the ramp players don't find any semblance of information, or even that con player, Jason. If he doesn't spot anything, then it's a possibility that Mason is tracked down, but for the time being, Mason has the timing all the way through Palace. It's a matter of him actually rerouting back towards ramp, and as he rounds the corner, Overtake still completely unaware. Morrow and his teammate just going to wait for the activation, but it's a flash over the top, and Jason's able to walk away with one of his own. Marky swift with the rebound, but a missed op shot from Umar doesn't help their cause any further. Umar able to connect the dots. Sacrifice towards mid has been dropped, but Umar now has what feels like an impossible task. It's a 1v3, and Mason is hot on the tail. It's the MP9 once again that finds more impact than the op. And a 4th round for Club 333.
Yeah, Overtake are just starting to look rattled at this point. I mean, we saw a few slower rounds on that T side of Inferno, and coming into this Mirage, they're looking unsure of themselves. They started to look like they were playing respectful, but now it's just starting to be fear.
Yeah, and it starts to bring up the question, do Overtake kind of throw, not necessarily the strat book, but the pacing of the strat book out of the window, right? Do they take their time with the mid takes? Do they just throw utility and try to go somewhere else while being completely absent towards mid? But I don't think that will be the case, not in this specific run. It's going to be a 4-man charge towards mid, make that a 5th as Umar joins the forces, but Intra and Marky go 1 for 1. Mason once again is spraying, is able to convert, sitting at 14-2 heading into round 6.
I mean, you called out the fact that the pace might be the thing that Overtake need to change, and they are up mid now 30 seconds into the round, chewing apart clubs to try and keep things even. Where Morrow's sitting, but I think the big victory condition, aside from Mason, has been removed. So Overtake maybe looking at a possible 2nd round here. Smoke's still doing a lot to keep them slow, though.
Look at the push from Secret Agent. The mid control has been lost from Club 333. So they're under the understanding that they have to get aggressive and pushy through another side of the map and through the extremities, and Secret Agent's done just that. He's found the timing through upper B, is going to try and timing these catwalk players, but Umar just might narrowly miss it, and Secret Agent doubles right back into apartments, and this might be their key to victory. They're going to walk into an empty bomb site with only Morrow playing Overwatch. Morrow hears the information and calls for the rotate, but still, Secret Agent in apartments might go unaccounted for.
I mean, or Morrow and Market might go unaccounted for. A good trade out of Sacrifice to keep Overtake in contention on this, but clubs have already rotated into position. Secret Agent from apartment, not able to get the job done versus Learcy, so leaves Mason all alone, but Mason's already got the 1 versus 5, not to be this round, as Learcy going to be able to double up to finish out the round, a 3K to allow Overtake a little bit of extra on this first half.
Yeah, attack timeout comes in from Overtake sector as well. One of the questions you have to start asking yourself is the pressure and the scenario that Overtake are playing in starting to crumble them? I mean, the pressure of being in playoffs, this is single elimination, so lose and you're out. But win and you move on to that championship game. So I'm almost wondering if some of that pressure is starting to be felt by the individuals.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing with the finals here is the VRS, right? I think it's something that has been talked to death, but at the same time almost deserves more conversation, because with new tournaments starting to crop up and old tournaments starting to fall away, everybody's going to be looking to get on that leaderboard. And I mean, this is one of those rare situations where I think Overtake are the ones, despite the fact that I feel like we've seen clubs more, Overtake are the ones that are on that VRS leaderboard. So they've got more to lose if they do fall to clubs. Big change.
Great peak.
Big in mid here. Double entry turned into a triple by Jason as Overtake start to steamroll their way through mid. Nobody on Cat to stop them, so this B bomb site could be very easily taken over, but the smoke is going to cause them to rethink things.
Yeah, and rightfully so. You don't want to go charging into the AWP of Cobra, and although Secret Agent only has a USP for the moment, not necessarily a risk that you actually want to take. Numbers punched in. 35 seconds left on the clock as of now. And Overtake is staring down the barrel of a third, but Jason has heard the information. Not necessarily going to be keen to it just yet. both Secret Agent and Cobra may be hoping to find player asleep at the wheel. At this current point in time, it feels like it's going to be sacrificed with the Galil, but Cobra has to play this perfectly, especially when he's the holder of all of this firepower, but Cobra just waiting towards top mid. Will not find anything, presumably. No, it's Intra's going to keep walking in. Flashbang pops. Cobra forced to turn, but on the reswing, he will miss the timing. Cobra now being communicated that there's a player close by, and the op is thrown out the window. It's Intra and Sacrifice to clean up, and Overtake to find a third.
Yeah, I mean, Overtake are finding some really inventive ways to secure these rounds and even take away all the money. This round should be a pretty free win for them, right? They're up against the USBs and the P2K of Cobra. But, I mean, the one thing so far this series is clubs have been on point for the pistol rounds. They've won the pistols, they won the anti-ecos, and this game they even managed to convert the first gun round. So, I mean, as well as Overtake are playing, that is one little notch in the armor that it could be slowing. It is slowing them down quite a bit.
Yeah, round 8, though. Some of that same pace change we were talking about earlier. Intra going to be hurt on the drop down. Mason should be given the go-ahead, but doesn't actually want to risk his life. Not this early. Will go swinging late, and Intra able to remove his life force from him. It feels like this Overtake lineup is still a little bit hesitant about making their move into B, but as Sacrifice goes hunting, he should gather information that this stack is happening towards the A bomb site, bearing the fact that Club 333 make their move first. Overtake, though, I'm kind of feeling weary about this pause. You can see that Intra starting to make an entrance towards the A bomb site. Will connect the first. Secret Agent activates from Sandwich, and there's still another player in Palace, so Sacrifice still has an opportunity to hit the floor, and he will take 2 with him, but Marky is going to find the trade. That's an M4 for the recovery, and a little bit less of an investment that Club 333 have to make going into the next, and Marky might be able to find more, but no, that M4A1S is going to be ripped out of his hands. We're tied up at 4 all as we head into round number 9.
Yeah, this feels great from Overtake. The one thing that I feel like I've consistently seen from this T side is while they've got enough rounds to at least bring it to 4 or 5 on the T side, the CT side is where Overtake will really shine. So anything they find past this is just going to be icing on the cake. Clubs, I mean, I'm looking for them to just show us where the firepower went from the beginning of this half.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of want to piggyback off of what you were saying in terms of it feels like Overtake have plenty of breathing room going to the CT side. One of the all-time goats at casting, Launders, once said that 3 is measly, 4 is more. And so Overtake have hit that mark, especially on the T side of Dust 2, or of Mirage, rather.
Did he say it on CS2 or CSGO?
He said it on CS2, believe it or not.
Okay. I mean, 3 on MR15 is like, well, I guess we'll play the second half, but let's start thinking about the next map. On MR12, though, 3 rounds is, you know, hey, not so bad. This time, though, bit of a bloodbath over towards the A-bomb site leaves us at a 3 versus 3, and Marky going to very quickly change that up, so a couple of kills for himself, leaves now Mar and Learsea in a 2 versus 3. Great find, great tracking on the AWP. Molotov into connector, going to be the dinner bell for Mason to chase, and doubles up to close out the round. So clubs stop that forward progress of Overtake.
And the one thing that's kind of concerning, at least in terms of the grand scheme of things, is it feels like Club 333 are a little bit reliant on the individual plays, whether it be from Mason, whether it be from Marky, but Mason can't do all the heavy lifting on his own. It has to be some semblance of firepower coming out from the rest of the roster, and up to now, we're not seeing that. Marky's being the only person that's remotely close to Mason with 6 kills of his own, but still, Mason at 18 will try to have his impact felt. Morrow is shut down through the bottom con swing, but Jason has taken all of the residents that he has given up. Squatter's rights, if you will, but Learsea and the rest of the squad are still trying to take this mid pressure, and they have done so successfully, but look at where Cobra is. as the AWP is peering out of TV room, but this becomes dangerous, especially when Umar is checking the backside. It's Jason now to spearhead into connector. Little does he know, both Marky and Mason, the double M's, await in the wings.
Yeah, Umar definitely switched on now. And it only gets more dangerous from here for Club 333. The water is starting to rise. The card's starting to get warped as Jason and Umar, another 2. 5 versus 1 now. Secret Agent cowering on the B-bomb site. Just waiting for that bomb to be planted so this round can end. But Learsey spots him over towards... Or did he spot him? I thought he did.
He did. Yeah.
Jumps up towards Van. There it is.
Yeah, he definitely had to have spotted him. I think he was just waiting for a reswing back towards Market. Secret Agent instead tries to make an escape back through apartments, but slowly the jaws are closing around him and trying to take one with him. But Umar, like you said, activated and warmed up into the series. I mean, this is a significant amount of impact that we're seeing in comparison to the last map, especially when it felt like Umar was just being targeted from this Club 333 lineup. But they're having some difficulties doing that, especially on the CT side so far.
Yeah, and I mean, the money's still not repaired either for clubs. So Secret Agent rebuying that MP9, but the rest of the squad on pistols and not even a scrap of armor. It's Secret Agent doing all the buying. Maybe a little bit of a disconnect in the comms for clubs. That comes back to haunt them as they head over to that T side, but they're going to start to get pulled apart already. Mason falls to Jason. And just gets worse and worse. The plow has started on the side of Overtake, and they will reap Club 333. Morrow left in the 1 versus 4. Deagle in hand. We got to see some magic out of the Deagle from the other side of the server. We'll see if Morrow's got it in hand as well as Overtake. Looking at this A-bomb site, thinking that this is the right spot, but Morrow's waiting in the wings, but no armor. It's just a simple mopping up exercise. Jason puts him out of his misery.
And Jason, a little bit of an eco-fragger, but stats are stats nonetheless. Currently leads the scoreboard at 11-6 for the side of Overtake. However, Mason has kind of frozen over, if you will. I mean, it feels like we haven't seen much from him in the prior 2, but still an opportunity to tie this up at 6-all before going into the second half of Mirage, does Club 333 have. And it's going to be bolstered by the AWP of Cobra. Club 333 not finding success with the mid-fights are going to give it up or relinquish it once more, but that gives Intra all the space he needs to apply pressure. The refocus of the gaze back towards the bomb side, though. Jason's going to try and make an entrance, successfully does, but the trade comes in from Marky, and he doubles up for his troubles. The last 2 members of Overtake are forced into what feels like an A-bomb site hit, but the rotations from Club 333 should come back in sooner rather than later, especially when Marky is already going hunting for information.
Yeah, I mean, that the players in apartments looked really good with that first kill, but you miss Marky, and he's going to make you pay. He absolutely made Overtake pay, and this 2 versus 4 is not set up for success. Both players emerging from ramp, but at the very least, clubs haven't rotated anyone over just yet, so good amount of space to be found, but with the footsteps, they should be heard, and Molotovs will make doubly sure. Oh, they didn't molly off connector. Mason, easy kill on a Learsey with his back turned. Numar on 30 HP, now fighting for his life. First shot connects, but he's going to need 3 more to win out this round, and he does not have the time to iron this out. He's just going to be peeked from CT, and it's Morrow to clean this one up. Evens us out at 6-6.
Yeah, and it feels like an interesting predicament to be in if you're Overtake. And I mean, I guess likewise if you're Club 333, is it feels like this pistol round is of equal, if not more importance than the initial one. To start this here, you're almost guaranteed 7-8 on the board. But Club 333 going to take a tack timeout, try and maybe pull out a set play. I'm almost expecting some volley of utility to try and target one of the assets that Overtake Sector do have. But whether or not they're able to actually capitalize becomes the next question, because Floofies, you even said it yourself that it feels like the CT side is where Overtake really thrive.
They do. And I mean, when we're going into the second half completely even, both teams are going to be looking for that pistol to swing the favor, and clubs have secured 3 out of 3 pistols, 3 out of 3 anti-ecos. So, I mean, while Overtake have had some really strong CT sides in the past, they're going to want that buffer to find their comfort zone early.
A little bit extra utility for the side of Club 333. Morrow does have a P250 and body armor to work with. Meanwhile, I'm interested to see this play from Club 333. Maybe some late mid utility, top mid smoke partnered with that window smoke. Actually, window and connector smoke. That's going to open up the doorway for the mid players to find a fight, if not take all of this catwalk control. You can see that Intra still resides towards the bricks, but is forced off the angle by a flashbang. The other two players from Club 333 are going to try and slowly make the walls close around this B-bomb site. They've successfully done so. It's Mason and Markey to find kills of their own. Morrow chimes in for an additional, but Umar only has a smoke and a defuse kit and the USP in his hand. He rips the head off of Mason, but needs to find 3 more to make this clutch somewhat doable. Is aware of the fact that Markey's close based off the information, and also knows that there's a player towards Arch, but Morrow has the swift shot. It's the coveted 6-7 scoreline as Club 333 take the lead.
4 out of 4 pistol rounds for Club 333. That is a sobering statistic if you're looking at this from the Overtake side. I mean, with as strong as their gun rounds have been, if they had gotten 1 out of 3 of them, this series feels obvious to say, but would have been so different. See if they can come back, going for the full save going into round number 14. So, looking to buy back up on the next round for the full rifles.
I'm almost thinking, though, that Overtake are trying to allow Club 333 to find some sort of footing into this B-bomb site and maybe even offer up a retake, because it feels like if Club 333 hit the site that is completely vacated, it's just going to be a matter of whether or not Overtake can position themselves for the exit kills. Window smoke and connector smoke makes an appearance once again, maybe a little bit of a repeat of this pistol round, but instead of 3 members heading out towards mid, it's going to be 2 exclusively. A shot is exchanged back through the window, not going to find any effect on either side, but rotation's being called over for Overtake, and Club 333 find no one home. So, like I mentioned, it's a matter of whether or not Overtake can actually put themselves in a position to find exit kills. And Intra not going to be a part of that, nor is Umar. The rest of the squad starting to make their way through T-spawn. Sacrifice definitely going to be the one to hold from Catwalk or even CT, but both Jason and Learseat, I think, don't really have any expectations going into this post plan. I feel like it's just a matter of trying to find the kills, trying to upgrade into a rifle to make that investment going into round 15 a little bit cheaper. Jason having a rough time connecting the Desert Eagle shots. Secret Agent walks away and actually is forced back into Underpass. So, great deal of damage. But Learseat not able to convert the kill. It's going to be Desert Eagles for the recovering, and Sacrifice the possibility of going hunting for information, but Learseat still trying to take the fight towards top mid and takes the rifle out of Morrow's hands. Secret Agent gifted another opportunity at life, but Club 333 instead will take an 8th.
Yeah, I mean, I struggle to find things to talk about just because this is now instance number 3 of clubs being 2 rounds ahead just from a pistol and a force. We'll get to see if we have that signature Overtake defense. The CT side always been a very important one, as we started in a little bit slowly. Ooh, good find.
One thing I'll touch on is the fact that for the side of Club 333, the scoreline has started to even out across the board. You mentioned that early find. Intra going to be responsible for securing the man advantage. That's not going to stop Club 333 from trying to make an entrance into this A-bomb site. Flashbangs over the top of Molotov to force back anyone playing stairs, but Umar still yet to activate towards triple, finds a conversion. It's Sacrifice to peer over the top of the stairs, and suddenly, Markey thrown into the 1v5. 4 players are touched up by the bullets, but still Markey won't have any chance at a fight, especially when Jason is sharp as a thumbtack.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of what you're looking for. Umar playing that A-site anchor has been such a key piece of the Overtake defense. it's so difficult to dislodge him. As soon as he gets that op out as well, I think it would be time for clubs to be quite scared. But until then, money has met its end for clubs, so just a three-piece of rifles with the pistols in the hands of Cobra and Marky. And Cobra already tagged up, Mason getting lit up as well. Jason be the benefactor of that first kill, sending clubs packing right back down ramp and off of his A-bomb site.
Yeah, a little bit of Bogdan's Law. Cobra going to be the next in line towards a ramp, but Jason, with the advanced positioning, will be able to capitalize. The rest of Club 333 just kind of searching for answers across this map of Mirage. That answer, at least in the here and now, seems like the B bomb site. You're thinking about the utility, but can't be too indecisive, as that might be what causes his demise. There's a timing happening towards ramp. Secret Agent trying to look for a fight, but Jason instead is going to be the one responsible for his death. And with the bomb back in towards apartments, Morrow does have to be the one to collect it. The footstep, or the drop rather, definitely heard, and Intra's going to go prodding, but won't spot anything. Actually going to refocus that gaze back towards top mid, but the exchange happens out B. Morrow still trying to be a thorn in the side, but Intra finds the activation, and Marky left in the 1v5. Jason has the hat trick, looking for more, but He's going to be shut down first, and Marky doesn't have the bomb, so just looking for any sort of financial impact, and will smoke the window, and has converted a second kill, so maybe a little bit of regret that he didn't bring the bomb into the bomb site with him. 10 seconds left, so no opportunity to recover it, and he's just waiting for a fight to come to him, but it will not happen. The rest of Overtake aware that Umar has the bomb, and will allow the time to expire. Umar may be on the prowl to try and find a kill, but as he taps away, Marky just tucks into the corner, and we are tied up at 8-all.
Oh, this is going to be where we really see if Overtake can run away from this half or not, because Marky holding on to that AK is honestly huge for clubs. I mean, considering how scary he was already, we know how strong he can be with an AK in his hands.
Make some of that impact felt. Aggressive underpass posture. Mason going to be the one to lead the charge out towards top mid. Definitely spotted on that jump across, but more AK spam towards catwalk leaves a little bit of ambiguity into the mind of Club 333. No visual just yet. Counter flash over the top from Overtake, but still a relatively fortified A bomb site, and this is what Club 333 felt like they were doing properly on their own CT side, is playing the map of Mirage. Whether losing that mid fight and trying to reposition back towards your extremities, or even just all-out fighting for mid. But this round, it leads Overtake into the backseat. It's Mason to trade out Umar. A little bit of a flavor spray from Lyracy, but he is able to find the kill that matters most. And Morrow finds what feels like a commiseration frag, but that could lead to another. It's going to be Jason to close it out. 9 rounds on the scoreboard for Overtake, and 1 away from that double digits.
Yeah, and Overtake have actually finally broken the bank of clubs, so now one breath of fresh air around where they'll get to face just pistols from this T side, but I say just pistols, and we saw Morrow doing some scary things with Deagle in the last round. It's Marky picking it up as well, going into round number 18. I mean, despite the lower level of weaponry, I'm still scared for Overtake. That's a great start for Intra, though, making sure that Mason is paved into the street on Cat. Look at everyone making their way out of apartments, though, for clubs. Lyracy will melt down the first and repositions. He's got bomb in his sight as well, but the spray down! He's got his teammate behind him. Will live on the edge. 7 hit points as 10 rounds secured by Overtake.
Yeah, and Club 333, they're going to have to sell their shoes to afford this buy. Be that Secret Agent has some good money, but not really enough to pull off a rifle and utility. But as aforementioned, they have sold the Jordans, they have sold the Yeezys, and are now trying to live life on the edge. AK-47s and utility to work with, but Umar has the AWP, and here's that mid-fight that I was talking about 2 rounds ago. Overtake trying to vie for this control and have successfully found it, so the bolstering of these extremity sites should come in shortly.
Yeah, you mentioned it. A little bit of a threadbare offense with no AWP from clubs. And I mean, Overtake doing a very good job of keeping them at bay early into this. Though Cobra opens things up, and Mason behind him will take the man advantage in the favor of clubs. And that's 2 kits down in mid as well. The rest of Overtake have kits as well, but I mean, $400 a pop is not something you want to keep losing. Jason and Connector looking to pave these final 2 players. Oh, he's got a third as well. Cobra trying to sneak past him, gets demolished. Morrow down to 3 HP. We'll find the head of Umar. 1 versus 2, an easy pickup for Jason. As Overtake now on 11.
Yeah, Overtake looking to finally cement their own map pick. But this is where that resilience comes in. Club 333 will not have a bye, at least a good one in this round 20. But I'm almost expecting some sort of adjustment from Club 333. It feels like Overtake have been giving them different looks in every single round, whether that's with the mid fight or even just giving up mid and trying to bolster the extremities. And regardless of what Overtake are doing, it feels like they're finding success. And whether that's off the back of Jason being 22-9 or even Sacrifice being 15-3, but I feel like that exemplifies what I was talking about on the CT side of Club 333, is being reliant on these heroic plays from each individual members. But as we go deeper into the series, everyone seemed to kind of cool off, whereas Overtake, specifically Umar, has started to warm up into this one, and even Jason finds himself, like we mentioned, at 22-9.
Yeah, I mean, that's the scary part about the Overtake defense, is really it could be any player. It could be you, it could be me. And in this situation, I mean, yeah, we get Umar lighting things up to start things off. Marky flattened as clubs try to work their way up mid. Where's Umar even gotten to? He's all the way back on Van, so an early kill is a nice little snack for round number 20. Oh, big push in through window. Everything is smoked off. Where's the kill? Intra finally irons it out.
And the top connector smokes surely to fade soon. Last 3 members of Club 333 a little bit indecisive as to where they actually want to direct this push. But Umar, being the sole surveillance drone towards the B-bomb site, has not spotted anything towards apartments and has to be cautious of this timing up catwalk. None of his teammates are providing overwatch just yet. It's just more so a possibility that they could walk up, and Umar has reactions in the bag. It's Cobra to lose his head, Sacrifice able to make Secret Agent live up to his own name, and Mason sits at 25-14, but a 1v5 ace would be absolutely critical, but Sacrifice shuts it down before it even gets started. It's Overtake on to map point.
Well, looking like we're going to map number 3. Don't want to be too far ahead of myself, but if Overtake do take it here, that's at least 1 round ahead that they could say that they kind of beat clubs by. And I mean, you did call out Umar in the last round. This round, getting that double to really set Club 333 on edge.
Yeah, but they're teeter-tottering on the edge of the B-bomb site. Molotov forces them backwards. Intra able to open up round 21 with a kill onto Secret Agent. Block smoke into upper B. Feels like it's an angle of approach for Morrow. He's going to try and capitalize, but not finding any spots as that smoke blooms further than he'd like. Umar, more impact here. Kill from Sacrifice as well. All 3 members, Umar, Intra, and Sacrifice, find kills respectively. Make Learcy add himself to the tally. And Learcy, all he has to work through is Marky. Intra's made his arrival, so to offer support, but it will be for nothing. Marky's going to rip 2 heads off, looks for the 3rd, but cannot convert. It's Sacrifice instead to put the cherry on top as Overtake take their own map pick of Mirage, 13-8, but Luffy's, this is where we move into Dust 2, and if Mirage went this way for Overtake, I'm almost worried because it feels like Inferno is a little bit of an inclination to Dust 2, but Mirage at the same time has that really heavily aim-reliant gameplay. And so I think that if Overtake are going to come out on top of this series, they need to dive a little bit deeper into their bag of tricks.
Yeah, I mean, Dust 2 honestly is a way more tricky map than I feel like it used to be. So we'll get to see where those tricks lead them. However, before we get there, we do have to take a short break. So stick around with us. We'll see you in just a few minutes.